Mantra 12, right? Okay. Okay, mantra 12. Let's all chant the mantra. Andam tama pravishanti ye sambutim upasate tato buya ivate tamon ya usambutyam rataha. Worship of the relative versus wrong worship of the absolute. In other words, what is the destination for different worship? Destination for different worship. We have different destinations for different type of worship. Mantra 9 explains that cultivation of the wrong knowledge is binding. Similarly, Mantra 12 describes that improper conceptions of the absolute truth is also binding. Understanding the absolute truth. The word prominent word. What is the prominent word in this sloka? Prominent word in this sloka. What is the prominent word in this sloka? Prominent.
Darkest.
You have the book in the hand. You have the mantra in the hand. Yes. So which word is prominent?
Asambhuti.
Sambutim, asambutim. Sambutim, asambutim. Position of the absolute truth. Let's look at that. Then we'll go to who can't understand the absolute truth, and we'll also how to approach the absolute truth. Three things we're going to get from here. The position of the absolute truth, the first one. Who cannot approach the absolute truth, and how to approach the absolute truth. Two things we'll go through here. Sambutin, absolutely independent of everything. Sri Krishna is the absolute personality of Godhead. Krishna himself appears by his own eternal potency in the form of a man. Krishna is always a man. Krishna is always a man, Purusha. Yes.
One good question regarding translation. The first sentence says that those who are engaged in the worship of demigods enter into the darkest region of ignorance. But Prabhuji, we heard or we believe that all demigods are created by the Lord himself. They are the part of the Lord, indirectly or directly. Then why we say like that? They are darkness of ignorance.
I remember someone have asked a question and I explained the demigods are materially placed, not spiritually placed. They are in management of material affairs. And the spiritual masters are in spiritual. So they are superior. Even though we don't see them with mystic power, they have spiritual power. But the demigods have mystic power. They are in material positions. They are not pure. They are not pure devotees. That is why worshipping them, I will go to the darkest region of ignorance. Darkest region. Demigod worship is an insult for Krishna. For the person to be worshipped is only Krishna. So we should worship only Krishna. And Prabhupada said, in the person of Indra with the verses, Prabhupada said in a purport, even if demigods are angry with us, we should not worship them, even if they are angry. That is in the Christian book. They are materially placed, not spiritually placed. That is the position. Krishna is the origin of the powers delegated to demigods, great sages, and mystics. The Sanskrit word Sambhuti means those who have no independent existence. Sambhuti is the absolute personality of Godhead, who is absolutely independent of everything. In the Bhagavad Gita, the absolute personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, positively describes himself in the following words: I am the supreme cause of the powers delegated to the demigods, the great sages, and the mystics. And because these are endowed with limited powers, it is very difficult for them to know how I appear myself by my own eternal potency in the form of a man. All philosophers and great rishis or mystics try to distinguish the absolute from the relative by their tiny brain power. However, this can only help them to reach the point of negating relativity without realizing any positive trace of the absolute. Definition of the absolute by negation is not a complete concept. Such negative definitions lead to create a concept of his own. And one then imagines that the absolute must be formless and without qualities. We have already mentioned that we should approach the Dhira to learn about the absolute truth. Krishna's devotees, however, who by dint of their unalloyed devotion surrender to him, can know that he is the absolute person and that everything emanates from him only. Such devotees continuously render loving service unto Krishna, the fountainhead of everything.
My apologies. It was a life and death situation. I had to take that. Calm down. Thank you. And my apologies. I disrupted you.
No, no disturbance. Thank you. You are our father here, so you should not look at that. That is Krishna's position. Impersonalist mental speculators try to distinguish the absolute from the relative by their tiny brain power. We already discussed that they cannot. They can go on even at the speed of the mind, they will still not get Krishna. They will not get. Because Krishna is not within the control of our senses. Oh, sorry. I forgot this one. Okay. All right. Right. Even though one may rise to the highest planet, Brahmaloka, one has to come back again. But if someone attains to me in the spiritual world, he does not have to take birth again. Sri Isopanisad suggests that one remains in the darkest region by hovering over the material planet, whatever his means may be. The whole universe is covered by the gigantic material element, just like a coconut shell, coconut ball, half filled with water. As it is airtight and fully covered, the darkness within is dense, and therefore planets like the sun and the moon are required to illuminate the inside of the universe. Outside the universe, there is a vast expansion of unlimited Brahmajyoti spirituals, Brahmajyoti space, full of Vaikuntha lokas. Therefore, there is no need for light in the spiritual world. Natat Basayate Surya, Nasa Sanka, and Pavakaha. In the spiritual world, there is no sun. Second? Less electricity and
No
fire.
moonlight. No sun, no moon, no electricity.
And forget the last one. Okay, fire. Who has helped you? The fire. So that 3. Why there is none of this in the spiritual world? Why is it not there?
Everything is self-luminous. Everything is self-luminous.
Self-luminous. What is the verse in Bhagavad Gita? What is the verse in Gita? Excuse me, before you. Yeah, sorry. 1 minute. 1 minute. What's that verse in Bhagavad Gita? You just studied Gita. Huh? I'm asking you a question. I agree with you that in the spiritual world there is no sun, there is no electricity, there is no fire. In a place where these things are not there, is it bright or dark? It's dark. So in the spiritual world it's dark? No. Why? People say luminous.
Illuminated by the effulgence of Krishna.
So I was asking, which verse is that in Bhagavad Gita? That is the same verse with no fire, no electricity. This verse is different. I remember? You just forgot just now? So after 1 year, what will happen to Bhakti Sasri? Krishna says, Jyoti Samapitat Jyotis. That is 13:18. 13:18. Yes, Prabhu. Yes, now you can.
Krishna's bodily effulgence fills every.
Please listen. Please.
You can't call it an inch, but every inch of space in the entire spiritual kingdom of God, it's completely flooded, illuminated by Krishna's bodily effulgence, which is millions of times more pleasantly bright than our sun.
Yes.
Plus, there are jewels that even add to the illumination everywhere. Chintamani stones, it's just. So there's no need of a sun or a moon or electric because of Krishna.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes. That is Krishna. From his body, it's pervaded, it brightened everything everywhere. So there's no need there.
I once asked Prabhupada about this, and he said, have you ever seen a little baby so happy that they seem to be a little bit effulgent? So he said, Krishna's bodily effulgence, which is beyond measurement, is just an expression of his the happiness that God feels at every moment. He's beaming out in that effulgent way.
Yes.
What a nice way to think about Krishna.
Yes. Yes, Prabhu. We want to hear you. Tell us. Yes, tell us.
I understand that a spiritual world, this objects we are seeing in the material world requires our material eyes. But in the spiritual world, even if there is no light, nothing. So that concept of lights and all is coming in this material world to see objects. But in a spiritual world, even if we close our eyes, we can see.
Okay.
And that is like Chintamani. Whatever we want, we can see. Whatever we want, we can do. Like in spiritual world, because of Krishna's presence.
Thank you.
I think so. This is.
Thank you. Yes, there is no darkness there. So, even if you close your eyes, the same as you open your eyes. And the same in the spiritual world. Thank you. Yes. That is powerful. Very powerful. The Judo worshippers, atheists, and the impersonalists properly described here. Like you see here, demigod worshippers and Judo worshippers properly said. The problem of life cannot be solved by going to the moon. I was just thinking about that. Why people want to go to the moon? Prabhu was explaining this morning. Why do we want to go to the moon? Yes, Prabhu. Yes, we're explaining later.
First of all, we know the moon is luminous.
Yes.
Whatever they landed on, whatever their rovers land on, it is definitely not luminous. So I don't have any idea where they landed. On what did they land? But it's not the reflective nature, which is the moon. So why we want to go there? It's just another extension of our desire to overlord, claim proprietorship, explore, to plant our flag, and it's a material conception.
Thank you. I was just thinking about it seriously, like this one. We want to go to the moon. We are tired of this place. It's not giving us the pleasure we want. So we want to go there. Yes?
So human being thinks that Earth is not the only space to make hotels and they enjoy. So they want to explore the outer world and they may want to go to moon. And they want to spend their billions and billions of money just to do sense gratification on moon.
We are not satisfied here. That's the thing. So we want to go there, right?
Yes. Correct.
And then how are we going there? How are we going?
By the space shuttles.
Which is from the spiritual or from us?
From us. From
See,
material.
imperfect. So we are simply transferring our imperfection to whatever we think we are going. Is it not? We are simply transferring our ignorance, our foolishness, our dissatisfaction, our frustration. We are taking them to that place. How do we think that we are going to be happy there? You understand? Yes, ma'am.
Srila Prabhupada has explained very carefully that every single star and planet has a unique atmosphere.
Yes.
And it requires a unique type of body in order to act and live, reside in that unique atmosphere.
Right.
So if we are trying to take our grossest earthly human form to a planet which has a totally different atmosphere, we could, if we landed on something, we don't have the body to enter into the unique atmosphere of the moon. We
Yes.
could not see anything about that unique place because our body is designed to see earthly things on earth.
Yes.
And there are higher dimensions or energies we don't have the body to see or
Yes.
experience.
Yes.
That's how Prabhupada explained in different ways. They did not go to the moon. And even if they did, they never entered the moon.
Yes.
They don't have the body. We don't have that body to go there.
Yes. In the moon planet, there is no earth element because it's watery, predominantly watery element. So when we take earth into the water, what will happen? It will dissolve. It will dissolve inside the water. That's it. That's it. In the sun planet, there is no earth, there is no water inside. Their body is made of air, ether, and the sky. So now you take our body with the 5 elements to that place. How will it exist in the sun? How? How we will exist there? We don't have the qualification. Our body is not meant for that place. Yes.
I am not a planetologist scientist, but we know that the illumination of the moon nourishes vegetables, turns them into juicy vegetables. We know it affects our oceans. So then they go to what they call the moon, and all they can see is barren rock, nothing. So the moon has the power to enrich vegetables, and there's no vegetables according to our eyes when they land on whatever they landed on. It's such an inconsistent point. They should be it should be a planet filled with amazing gardens and,
Yes.
and vegetables and plants and everything.
Yes.
It should be heavenly.
Yes.
They can't even think like that.
Yes.
Because it just, if they even went at all, then all they're seeing is like barren, meaningless dust and rock.
Yes.
No luminous,
Yes.
no vegetables, no vegetation, nothing.
You
Even though that moon is creating all that on Earth.
The original idea to go there to enjoy, but what will make them enjoy it was not there. They didn't see it. It's only rocks. Why should we go and get rock? They are going to eat the rocks. What is taking was there? We didn't see. They didn't see it. No vegetable, no beautiful flower, no palatial building. Nothing is there. Only rocks. How would they enjoy the rocks? Common sense, but yes.
They will bring sandwiches from Earth and they will sell there.
Hare Krishna.
100 times more.
Hare Krishna.
We want to celebrate real honeymoon on moon.
Right? Yes, yes, Swami.
Maharaj, I agree. If you look into spiritual angle, I think going to moon is completely waste. But I think the materialist scientists, their mind is too materialistic. They are looking for some elements in the other part of the world. Doesn't matter whether in the moon or wherever they landed. And they may find some elements that can help in the technology. Probably in future the computer can become this size.
That is okay.
That is the advancement for them. That's how they think, And for that they're spending billions and dollars to achieve something. But in spiritual form, I think without computer we can live freely. So
Computer is a
depending
distraction.
which angle we are looking at, material angle or spiritual.
Do you know what computer does? Do you know?
Maharaj?
Computer, you know what it does for us?
For us it's more pain.
The daughter is in this room with computer. The son in that room with the computer. The father is there with the computer. The mother is there with the computer. The family is divided. Where is the family unit? Where is it? It's finished. So we are trading community for commodities. It's our civilization for now. It's a waste. Useless. Completely useless. So proper challenge is perfect. There are many judo worshippers who become religionists for the sake of name and fame only. Such judo religionists do not wish to get out of this universe and reach the spiritual sky. They want only to maintain the status quo in the material world under the garb of worshipping the Lord. And the atheists and the impersonalists lead such foolish judo religionists into the darkest regions by preaching the cult of atheism. The atheist directly denies the existence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the impersonalists support the atheist by preaching the impersonal existence of the Supreme Lord. As far as we have gone through Sri Isopanisad, we have not come across any mantra where the personality of Godhead is denied. It is said that he can run faster than anyone. Those who are running after the planet are certainly persons, and if the Lord can run faster than them, faster than all of them, why should he be considered impersonal? The impersonal conception of the Supreme Lord is another phase of ignorance, due to an imperfect vision of the absolute truth. This is Prabhupada's conclusion. Yes. Anymore. What is their misunderstanding? Krishna is another powerful demigod. Why do they worship the demigods? They are unintelligent and bewildered, driven by a strong desire for sense gratification. What? They want temporary relief for temporary problems. Destination, planet of demigods, which is darkness. Why is this a problem? All the planets in the material world are temporary residences. 8:16. How can one reach different planets? Spaceships, mystic powers, demigod worship. The Lord states, as soon as one reaches Him by devotional service, which is the one and only way to approach the personality of Godhead, there is complete freedom from the bondage of birth and death. In other words, the path of salvation or getting out of the material clutches fully depends on the principles of knowledge and detachment. And the Judo religionists have neither knowledge nor detachment from material affairs. Most of them want to continue in the golden shackles of material bondage, under the shadow of altruistic and philanthropic activities, and in the name of religious principles. By false religious sentiment, they present a mixture of devotional service, indulging in all sorts of immoral principles, and still pass as spiritual masters and devotees and devotees of God. Such violators of religious principles have no respect for the authoritative acharyas, the holy teachers, in the strict disciplinary succession. And to mislead the people in general, they themselves become so-called acharyas without even following the principles of the acharyas. This rose I wish they hear this. Prabhupada calls them rogues. Why are they rogues? Why? Why are they rogues? They are rogues, Prabhupada said. Yes, sir. Yes.
Prabhupada said they are rogues because they invent and propagate the cult of atheism.
Yes.
What a phrase, the
Yes,
cult of
yes.
atheism. All of modern science comes under that heading,
Yes.
the cult of atheism. So they're rogues.
Yes.
And that's that
Good.
comes out of their envy. Comes out of their envy that there could ever be a God over
Yes.
them.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. They are rogues, punishable by law of nature. I'm trying to remember something, the same thing. Brother Das Kola said the same thing. He used the same word, rogues, thieves. In Chaitanya Bhagavad. A thief, the same word properly used. The rogues. These rogues in human society are the most dangerous elements. And for want of religious government, they pass on without being punished by the law of the state, but they cannot avoid the law of nature. That they cannot avoid. They cannot, however, avoid the law of the Supreme, who has clearly declared in the Bhagavad Gita that these envious demons in the gap of religious propagandists shall be thrown down into the darkest region of hell. It is confirmed in Isopanisad that the pseudo religionists are heading towards the most obnoxious place in the universe after finishing with the spiritual mastership business, which is simply for the a matter of sense gratification. Perfect. Yes, sir.
It's very interesting that Prabhupada said in the Dhira of religious propagandists. What he's referring to is that they've tried to turn so-called science into a religion.
Yes.
Based on
Right.
origins that no one can ever verify. So you just have to accept it on faith.
Right.
The origin of the universe comes out of nothing.
Right.
The origin of all life it comes out of the smallest one cell that just pops out of an ocean. No one was there or could be able to reproduce the origin events. So it's just a religion.
Yes.
And you have to accept it on faith.
Yes.
The cult or religion of atheism.
Right. Yes, sir.
I have one question. That here it says that if you go to the planet of demigods, it is a place of darkness. What about Shiva, who is the dearest devotee of Lord Krishna? So if one goes to the Kailasha, so is that the same darkness which here it is represented?
No, those who worship Shiva. Yes, speaking, sir.
He's saying that none of us will go to Lord Shiva's place.
These earthly worshippers are not going to make it to Lord Shiva's. That's right.
Yes. You will not be qualified to go there. And anyone who even goes there, private.
Lord Shiva because they think he's going to give them sense gratification.
Yes. And a lower level. So that is why would I worship him? And what of Ravana? Where did he go?
He went to Vaikuntha.
No, no.
He was the incarnate.
No, Prabhu. He went to Vaikuntha only after here. After they came here. Kamsa is Kazi. And then Nawab is Shishupal.
Yeah.
Shishupal. That's Nawab. So they were together. It's only after this they went back, not before. Before then, darkest region.
Yes.
It's darkest region of ignorance. So we have evidence. Yes.
He is the greatest demon because he tried to separate God from his eternal consort. I mean, that is the worst sin. And then he tried to create a staircase to go to the upper planetary systems, again, without having to worship or acknowledge that the devas have any say in it. I mean, everything that he did made him the worst demon at that time in the whole universe.
That's darkness. Which is darkness. That's darkness. Right? in the beginning, schools were not started by missionaries. Sorry, by scientists. It was missionaries. In the beginning, Gurukul it was not scientists. It was missionaries. They came in and took over everything. And now, when some years ago we went to, I was in Brazil, so we went to a university program. And the topic they were asking us to speak was the relevance of religion in human life. I was laughing. University. What is the relevance of religion for us, human beings? So when they gave me the topic, I was looking at it, I was laughing. Why was I laughing? Our degradation, the level of our degradation. How we have become so degraded that now scientists are thinking that they can show us God. They have the religion. Prabhupada is condemning that darkness. Gurukul was not started by scientists. Became adulterated. Now it's in the hands of demons, the scientists. What a degradation. See, darkness. They are keeping us in darkness. Whatever they promise us, what the scientists, can you imagine the anxiety that scientists are giving to us? We don't see it. How many varieties of cell phones we have? How many varieties? How many varieties of cell phones?
Adi Devik, Adi Bhautik.
Cell phone. Thousands. Cell phone. Handset we are using. Many, right? Many varieties. Yes, uncountable. What does cell phone do? What is it? What for it? To make a call. Then you have X, Galaxy X, Ultra, Galaxy this, have the S, this, Samsung this, Samsung this. It's not tension. And what do? Oh, Galaxy. Oh, yes. This one. Next year. Oh, yeah, this one. Apple 3, Apple 10, Apple 23, Apple 24, Apple 20, Apple 50. We are running towards it. We don't see what they are doing to us. They are giving us constant anxiety, and we are simply following that faithfully without questioning them. It's not darkness. It's not darkness.
Yes, it is.
It's darkness. So Isopanisad is taking us out of this darkness. Let us accept Isopanisad and not the scientists. Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu.
question. The other day we did puja for Saraswati. Is Saraswati a demigod? I'm confused by the relationship. Because sometimes what happens is people worship in some form of Saraswati in order to get help with knowledge. But their reason for getting help with the knowledge is to increase their ability to know what they need to know in order to be more Krishna conscious. And I've been told by some people, if you do that, if you ask a demigod for help for something like that, that's okay. It's not taking you to darkness, it's taking you towards Krishna consciousness. But like I said, I get a little confused. Even worshiping Shivadev and asking him to remove obstacles in your life so you can become more Krishna conscious. He's not a demigod, obviously, but I'm confused about the difference. And the result, if I understand this mantra correctly, is if you worship a demigod for any kind of material gain, that gain is considered to be moving you towards darkness and hellish planets. So I'm trying to figure out the difference.
Difference between Saraswati, or the result of worship. I'm sorry, I have to get it clear. What is the question?
So my question is, worshipping demigods.
Yes.
And I don't know if Saraswati is a demigod or not.
Just keep it to that one.
Okay, so Saraswati, you do a puja for Saraswati, and you're praying to her, and you're asking her to help you, gain the knowledge you need to be more Krishna conscious, right?
Yeah, if we ask Saraswati for a help so we can understand Krishna, that is fine. But we don't usually see people who do that for getting knowledge to serve Lord Krishna. They always go for material things. So that is condemned. But for Krishna, it's fine. And people worship Saraswati along with Ganesh. It's a material thing, not spiritual. If it is for in our nectar of devotion, Sri Swami recommended we should worship Ganesh. And Sri Goswami explains that Ganesh is different from the Ganesh, the son of Lord Shiva. It's a different Ganesh.
Yeah, Ganesh is another example.
Yes.
People worship him to remove obstacles in their lives for material gain.
Yes.
But there's also a form of worshiping, praying to Ganesh and asking him for help to remove obstacles in the way for Krishna consciousness.
For Bhakti, yes. Yes. Yes, sir.
I would say that the very thing that you might be asking of Saraswati, Goddess Saraswati, you can also ask Lord Paramatma and Srila Prabhupada and not get diverted to any other personality.
Yes.
Stay within our Sampradaya. Ask Krishna's holy name for the remembrance and knowledge by which you can come to him.
Right.
You don't need to approach any demigod or demigoddess
For anything.
even if you're dovetailing it, because that's not what we're being taught by our acharyas.
No, that's a good answer. In fact, the other thing that confuses me a bit, to be honest, is people who said don't approach Krishna directly to ask for mercy, but approach Radharani, who will then approach Krishna. It just seems confusing.
No.
Radharani. I've heard this and I just...
When you say Hare, that is Radharani.
That is why you are chanting.
Yeah, that is Radharani.
I know.
Yes.
Yes.
So now we approach their spiritual master instead of going to the demigod for anything. That's the perfect way we can reach. It's easier. Like we already said many times, the spiritual masters, they represent the spiritual. The demigods represent the material. So let's go to Srila Prabhupada and we'll get everything. His mercy will give us everything we need in our Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada ki, Sri Isopanisad ki, Lord Advaita Acharya Gosai ki, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Okay.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.